Now, Dr. Plump, end of that session, closing remarks, and then we can have networking without drinks and snacks.
Networking without drinks and snacks. Isn't that kind of an oxymoron, Karun?
It is. So we are in the virtual world now. So
yeah. Well, listen, firstly, thanks to everybody who's participated throughout today. It was really just an amazing day, as this summit always is. Of course, just a massive thanks to you, Karun, for your energy and your ability to pull together such an amazing group of people. I don't know how you do it, but you do it. You bring together a group of people with great energy and great excitement. We touched on multiple topics today: oncology, digital and data, rare diseases. We went through the pandemic. We did something on the investor outlook. We had an R&D overview with Matai, David, Martin, myself. We had a terrific fireside chat between Chris Wiebacher and Alex Gorski, two giants in our industry. And we talked about clinical trials in India, which was a first, and it was a call to action for all of us. I think that there was a theme that I'd like to comment on that came across in many of these different sessions, which is not just the importance of what we do and the importance of science and the importance of innovation, but the importance of how we show up to society and the importance of really the lay world in what we do. We saw this in the investor panel. One of the reasons that we're in such a difficult period with respect to biotechnology investment is the emergence of these generalist investors. And it's really important that we educate the world. We heard about this in the context of rare diseases. Actually, Al Sandrock made a very powerful statement that the incredible SMA therapies that have emerged, the gene therapy and the SCIP, antisense oligonucleotides, never would have made it were it not for the patient advocacy groups. And then we heard about it in the pandemic panel, where there's been so much questioning of fact and of science during the pandemic, which is just amazing given the progress that we've all made. So it gets me to an allegory, which is something that I think Celios brought up, which is the cab driver, right? And Celios talked about the cab driver. If the cab driver is asking you what biotech stock he or she should invest in, you know that you have a problem. Actually, I know we have a problem because I had my own cab story, which is the modern day cab, which is the Uber. I get into the Uber after pushing a couple buttons a few months ago on my app, which I always push. Please don't play music and please no conversation. I have work to do in the back of the car. And so whenever I push those two buttons, two things happen. I get music and I get conversation. And this particular Uber driver was actually really interesting, very smart, simultaneous translator. And eventually I was really engaged in the conversation. He asked me what I did and I explained to him what I did, to which he proceeded to make the statement, you know what the answer is to COVID? And I said, what? And he said, ivermectin. And I started laughing because I thought we had a relationship, but I thought he was joking. He goes, no, I'm entirely serious. Let me explain to you why. After knowing exactly what I do, I proceeded to shut him down and say, listen, I'm a data-driven scientist and I don't want to hear this garbage. But it's a problem. It's a problem that everybody feels that they can understand what we do. And actually, that puts an obligation on us to create the trust, to build our reputation so that we can educate the rest of the world. And if we do that, we're going to make huge headway. And I think that that's a theme that we all own. We're scientists, we're clinicians, we're innovators, we're investors. We kind of understand our business. And sometimes it's the softer stuff that we have to really step into. And I know that's something that we all feel very strongly about. And that's why I implore you, as we move forward in the coming days and months between now and next year, that you step in as we start to take on an activity that we've been trying to take on the last few years, which is really trying to drive our industry into India. And as we heard earlier, the barriers are surmountable, easily surmountable. So I think we have some low-hanging fruit ahead of us. Again, Karun, thank you very much to you and to everybody else. It's really been just a pleasure to spend my day with all of you. And I'll look forward to the same day again next year. Thank you.